What's going on, Wolfpack Nation? We are back for another episode, y'all. As it is time, it is tournament time, and we are super pumped for it as your NC State Wolfpack is going for its sixth straight ACC Wrestling Tournament title, y'all. Yeah, that's right. Count them, baby.
So
You
we
can't even
want
count
another
them on one
hand.
hand. Yeah, you can't even count them on one hand. Exactly. You're going for number 6, baby. So super excited for this team, and I honestly think that this, in my opinion, is the strongest chance that we have, honestly, at winning the tournament.
Which is crazy to think, right? Having won 5 in a row.
Having won 5 in a row, I think this is the strongest chance that we've had to date. With having 8 different wrestlers who are on a bye, meaning that they either got the first or second seed in their weight class. And then I'm even one of the both the guys really who didn't get one of the top 2 seeds can still make some noise, but I feel a lot better about Fishback making some noise at the 184-pound mark than Faison. Go ahead, Greg.
I just want people that don't follow wrestling to kind of put that in perspective. We are a 1 or 2 seed in 80% of the weight classes. So there's 10 weight classes for folks that don't follow wrestling on the whole. So to your point, like that's pretty strong.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. And we'll kind of talk about it in general. We won't necessarily go like weight by weight, as that'll be much more than one episode.
Yeah.
But Greg, I know we were talking a little bit beforehand in terms of were we shocked we had so many. And I mean, obviously Camacho number 1, no shocker there, no brainer. Kai Irini, no brainer. He's been undefeated this year.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Jack at number 2 to behind Cole Matthews. Yeah, not really surprised by that. I was trying to pull up the daggone stats, but NC State page is giving me some issues. But I'm pretty sure Ryan Jack did lose to Cole Matthews in the pit duel.
I think he did. I think he did. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like Cole Matthews, who's been at pit for a long time and has been the rival for Ryan Jack, can't really sweat that too much.
They're always going back and forth with each other.
Exactly. Ed Scott, honestly, Ed Scott being number 2 over Bryson Donian, just because, and again, for a little bit of background, Bryson Donian, who was, I think he made it to the Final Four for wrestling at 157 last year at Nationals. He also won. No, he lost last year in the ACC tournament to. Oh man, the UNC guy who won the national championship.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Austin O'Connor. Lost to him, but Andonian's won more times than he's lost to Ed Scott. But he's been dealing with some injuries this year. It hasn't really wrestled much at all this year. But yeah, in actually one of the wrestling rankings, I think either Flow Wrestling, I think he's put as number 10 in the country,
right?
Even though he literally hasn't wrestled in over 2 months, so which is hilarious. But yeah, so Ed Scott being number 2, Bryce Jones at 3, just because the assumption, the idea is that Bryce is going to be all set for ACC, which, if that's the case, if he's healthy, then yeah, I mean, I would say that Bryson Donian would be the favorite over Ed Scott, but I get it. I'm not really sweating it either way. So
it'll be settled on the mats.
It'll be settled on the mats, exactly. And then, but kind of looking at it, Greg, like, were there any other surprises here for the seedings that really stood out to you?
Yeah, you kind of mentioned Derek Fields. You were a little surprised over that one. Just kind of give me your thoughts on why you thought Derek Fields was a little bit of a surprise out of 1.
Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need. Offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out. Well, and I quickly kind of caught that by saying that 165, I think, is honestly the weakest weight
It's the most
class
open,
in ACC. It's the most, and just not a lot of big names there,
Mhm.
yet. I think a lot of young names, but just not a lot of big names. With every other weight class, you can kind of look at a couple
Yeah.
guys, but oh yeah, that
Yeah.
that guy's pretty good. But 165, I feel like you still got a lot of young guys trying to prove themselves, and also because Derek Fields, he kind of switched back and forth
Mhm.
in some of the AC duels with the other guy who's kind of competed with him at 165. I can't think of his name right now, but so I would kind of caveat that by just saying that it's not necessarily a guy that I think it was like, oh man, yeah, that guy's number one seed. Like, he just doesn't necessarily pop to my head. Now, I think that can be caveated easily by saying that we have so many guys that easily pop to number one, like Trent Hiley, number one,
Yeah.
Owen Trefon, number one, Kai,
Yeah.
number one, Colton or Camacho, number one. Like, no doubt about it. But so Derek Fields doesn't necessarily kind of pop to me on
Is
that.
it
So
Kovacs or Singleton? Which one were you thinking for 165? That was battling with Fields.
yeah,
Matty Singleton.
Matty Singleton. I think no,
I think it
was
was
Kovac.
Kovacs that has wrestled some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, you're right because
Yeah.
he competed against Virginia
Mm-hmm.
or no, it was against Cornell. It was against Cornell. Derek Fields didn't compete, which I kind of makes sense because maybe they were giving
From a
Fields
national.
a
Yeah.
little break, just kind of keeping him fresh for ACC. Because then I mean, keeping in mind that basically how nationals works is that basically um, every single conference within the NCAA, and then every weight class within the conference has a certain amount of automatic bids for the NCAA tournament. And I think and so you can have one wrestler that gets an automatic bid, or you can have 4 or 5. I think even like the Big Ten, uh, there's some of the weight classes that every single one of their wrestlers gets an automatic
Yeah.
bid
It's
just
kind of weighted.
because
It's a weighted system.
it's basically weighted by how many wrestlers within that weight class are typically ranked in top,
Yeah.
15, top 20, give or take. So one of the ones that has actually 4 automatic bids is a 174. So basically meaning as long as you finish at least 4th place at 174, you have an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, which honestly is huge because if NC State is trying to compete for a team trophy, which this year there's only 3 teams will win a team trophy, meaning you have to finish at least 3rd place to get a team trophy. You have to have every single wrestler at least qualify for nationals to be able to try and go win you some team points.
Yeah.
And so Faison, even though he's been struggling for sure this season, we need him to qualify for nationals. And so right now he's put as a 4 seed, and we need him to at least accomplish that, which is going to be tough because he's going to face Makai Lewis, assuming that he can win his first match against Luca Augustine against Pitt. So I mean, it's going to be a tough road for him,
Yeah,
but
it's uphill.
but we need him to get it done. And keeping in mind that you can still get an at-large bid, but for a guy like Faison, if he doesn't get the automatic bid, I mean, if he's finishing 5th or 6th in the ACC, it's really, really tough to wrap your head around him getting a large bid. So, yeah. But just a reminder to kind of everybody as well, and this is actually kind of one thing that was brought up actually by our spoke with Robbie Wendell, who covers ACC wrestling, does a great job for ACC covering the sport for sure. I kind of asked him what was his thoughts in terms of how likely, how much of a favorite do you think NC State is to win this year? And he basically said, yeah, I mean, NC State is the favorite, no doubt about it. But if Virginia Tech has a really strong tournament, they're going to be a much better standing from a team points perspective. Because basically, for those who aren't sure or are unaware, basically what happens is for every single match that one of your wrestlers is a part of, based on how much they win, then you get a certain amount of team points to your name. Well, if you're competing in less matches, you have less opportunities to win team points. So it's kind of it's a good thing, but it's also kind of a bad thing that you don't have more wrestlers that are in the 3 to 6 seed, because you are competing in less matches, because you basically have 8 wrestlers who are during that 11 a.m. session going to be sitting on the sidelines, not giving you any opportunity to win team points. So, keeping in mind that obviously the team points are lower in those first few matches. You can only get I think 2 team points if you pin the guy in those first, compared to if you pin the guy in the finals, you get 16 points. So it's a big difference, but still every team point matters. So thought
Yeah,
there. But yeah, go
and you're
ahead. Pause
not,
there.
and you're not getting as many opportunities potentially to wrestle head to head against the 1 and 2, right? So like Virginia Tech may wrestle a bunch of Pitt guys, for instance, and so like they'll get eliminated early, but we're not getting those points. And then, it's not like a duel where you're head to head on a guy and that you win, you get the points, and then it's done. You only have to win, 5 or 6 matches to win the duel, depending on how the points work out. So it's definitely a different mindset, and every match really does matter in these tournament formats.
Yep. So, looking at kind of what we need to do, and I'm still even to this still the Dagon website's giving me
Oh, the
a run
state
for my
one.
money here. Yeah, the state
Yeah, I was
one's
trying to
giving
pull
me
up
a
some
run for my
stuff, and it
money.
just kept telling me I was throwing air balls. I
Yeah.
like that.
So I do have it here though. So yeah, Cole Matthews beat Ryan Jack 15-10 in the Pitt NC State duel. Um, and then Reese Heller beat Fishback 4-3 from Pitt as well. So I think that's why you're kind of seeing him at number 3, because he
Mhm.
also lost to Thomas Stewart Jr. from Virginia Tech as well. So I think that's why you're seeing the seeding that you're seeing. But again, I mean, Fishback is definitely a guy that can beat either of those guys any day. So, you know, for me, honestly, looking at it, I think it really comes down to a couple things. First of all, Trent Hidley needs to
Yeah.
get Tech Falls at least as much as he can. At the very least, a major decision. He needs to win by 8 or more every, because I mean, all those guys, Andy Smith from Virginia Tech, Max Shaw, UNC, you name it, all those guys aren't even in the same galaxy as Trent Hidley this year. Trent Hidley's trying to go for a national championship, and all those guys are, no disrespect to any of them, but they're just not in the same league as Trent. So he
Yeah.
needs to go for bonus points, get as much team points as he can. I'm feeling pretty good about Trayvon at heavyweight. I know Hunter Katka, he's a guy that from Virginia Tech, he's a guy that Trayvon's seen a few times, but Trayvon's had the upper hand against him a few times.
Yeah, beat him this year, didn't he?
No, Katka didn't compete against him
Mm.
in the duel. A freshman competed against him.
So they
To
kind of
go
threw that.
through
Oh, that was already decided at that point, huh? Yeah.
maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so Greg, kind of looking at it. So what do you think NC State needs to do? Like if you see these things happen, if these guys win, if this happens, we feel pretty good about winning the championship, the tournament championship.
Yeah, so I think if Ed Scott steals a victory in 157, I think that sets us up really good. Because he's probably gonna have to wrestle a Virginia Tech guy probably in the semifinals, right? So if it breaks right 1-4, 2-3, so you would think that he would knock out a Virginia Tech guy in the semifinals and then beat a Carolina guy, so get some points there. Um, I think if you can get an Alex Faison second place finish, I think that's a huge win. So you're
It ain't
setting yourself
happening
up.
though. It ain't
No, I
happening.
don't
He's not
think
competing with
so.
Kai Lewis. He's
Yeah,
not competing with Kai
no,
Lewis.
that's what I'm saying. A second place finish, but that's what I'm saying. A
Yeah.
second place finish, right? So, if he can,
Well, third place is more feasible again, because you can't finish second, because that's decided by the championship. The championship is whoever loses the championship. So he'd have to face
I see
Mackay
what
in
you're
the
saying. He's not possible
semifinals.
for him to fit, right? Because he's fourth, so he would have to face him in the semifinals.
Mackay, you
Correct,
got it.
correct. My bad.
So
Yeah, I wasn't looking at it.
give me third. Give me third
Yeah,
or
give me
fourth.
third.
Give me third, ideally, but again, give me fourth.
Yeah,
Qualify for nationals. That's
yeah,
the least. That's my lowest bar for you, man.
yeah,
Qualify for nationals,
yeah,
please.
yeah. But I mean, if he finishes, third, that's a win, right? I see. I mean, I see Camacho probably. Camacho, he worries me a little bit. I know he was ACC Wrestler of the Week, but he's shown okay, when he's on, he's freaking on. But he's had a couple of head scratchers this year, so
Yep.
that one worries me just a little bit.
Yep.
Kai is crazy, so I love Kai Harini. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yep.
The Ryan Jack Cole Matthews matchup, like you're saying, potentially in a finals.
It's gonna be juicy.
Yeah, that would be juicy. Yeah, man, I think again, if Camacho shows up, if we can get a third or fourth place by Faison, and then get some ones and twos. I don't expect, it's wrestling. I expect probably and I hate to say it, probably one, maybe two of our number one seeds won't win it just because it's wrestling. Something crazy may happen, but someone may step up and kind of replace that finish. But
Yeah.
again, I think we're in good shape. Again, when you don't have to wrestle extra, you get those buys. You're a little fresher coming into those semifinals and finals matches, and it's a long day. And wrestling is hard. And here's the other thing: you have to make weight for every one of these matches, and so the more you wrestle, the more energy is drained. You're losing water weight. It's a very taxing day. So it's definitely a huge benefit of having these 1 and 2 seeds in 80% of these matches.
Well, and I mean, honestly, I'm feeling pretty decent about 9 of our guys making it to AC championship match. And I mean, and I'm saying, okay, maybe if 1 or 2 of them have a slip up, I mean, seven wrestlers in the finals, just competing for the finals, you gotta feel pretty good about that.
Yeah,
So,
for me, Ed Scott's a wild card at 2. Again, he's kind of he could destroy them or do something and lose in his first match. He's sometimes feast or famine.
well, because to be honest with you, like Sonny Santiago, who's in first, the reason why he is number 1 is because he pulled the upset against Ed Scott when he beat him 12-5. But keeping in mind that
was overtime.
Most of those points came in overtime on a near fall point. But Bryson Donian, honestly, to me at 167, still the guy to beat just because of his experiences, because of what he's accomplished, and because all you've heard is that he's been saving up to come back for ACC tournament.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that Scott has beaten Bryson Donian before, and every single one of their matches has been like a high scoring, just buckle your seatbelts. It's there's nothing going to be defensive about it. It's not going to finish 3-1. It's not going to finish 2-1. It's going to finish
be scoring
15-12 or something like that. Something stupid.
And here's the one thing we haven't really talked about is Coach Pop has actually set these guys' schedules this year in preparation for these tournaments, right? These end of year, so the ACCs and
exactly.
and nationals. He's really done a good job on their workload management and sitting guys and getting younger guys in there. So we'll see if that strategy is going to come and play out here, and see how fresh these guys are come tournament time.
Exactly. Absolutely. Love it. So, feeling good, y'all. So, again, it's going to be taking place in Carmichael Gym at UNC. I know, right? But the first match will take place at 11 a.m. on Sunday. You can buy a ticket for an all-day pass for $10, and it's general admission, so you can sit anywhere. And again, so you're basically watching almost 10 hours of AC wrestling for $10. So I mean, you can't get better bang for your buck than that.
I'm really hoping all of the bandwagon state fans show up for the ACC tournament.
Yeah, right. I mean, I really do. I hope and pray, right? Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I would love nothing more to just continue to shut up Carolina's coach just for his ignorance.
Oh yeah.
So what better way to go win an ACC championship in their barn?
Amen. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, let's pack Carmichael red, y'all. Let's get this 6th straight ACC championship tournament, and let's qualify all 10 guys.
Absolutely.
For nationals, and again, the rest of it, the rest in terms of individual ACC titles will take care of itself. But again, it really comes down to just take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to be Superman. Just take care of business. We'll walk out there with the tournament title very easily.
Go do your job.
Go do your job. Exactly. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, hopefully as of this recording, we have hit that 9,000 subscribers mark, which we are so appreciative for. But if you haven't already, we are still on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's free to do. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you're notified when all of your devices, whenever you release any new NC State content. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to leave that, hit that like button as well, and give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you're listening to this on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, please do us a big favor and leave a 5-star review, and greatly appreciate that as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all Sunday, and go Pack, y'all.